yourself. Most difficult sadhana is Shravan Manan Nididhyasanam. Doing part is comparatively easy, but subtle higher level sadhana is Shravan, because the mind has to be prepared for it. Empty mind is God's mind, idle mind is devil's mind. So let us withdraw our mind from all content of experience, past and future. And when we make effort to keep this in the present moment, which mind resists, because present moment, no mind. Mind cannot stay long in the present moment. Because present moment is eternal, mind is limited. So let us take a deep breath, focus entire attention on the breath which has no form, very few qualities which mind can grasp. So mind becomes purified, attribute less, quality less. That is the advantage of observing the breath before any studies, before any manan, before any meditation also. A still body, a cheerful mind in the present moment is a very important sadhana, and mind can only quieten down when we do this before any Shravan Manan Nididhyasanam, that the world is perfect the way it is. This is a resolution we must take, because the mind goes to something what is incomplete, imperfect. As we read in the summary, the world is perfect which is created by God. Where is a problem lies is samsara, that is what is my world in my mind. So a still body, a clear intellect, a quiet mind is very important for this Upanishadic Shravanam. As we saw in this Upanishad itself, we are seeing that the Uttam Adhikari realizes the self with only the second verse. And this Upanishad is very interesting in terms of giving us Uttam, Madhyam, Duyam Adhikaris. Let us invoke God's grace, Guru Parampara's blessings, by chanting loudly. Loud chanting is important because it creates sound vibrations, and that helps us in our Shravan Manan Nididhyasanam. Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापि यत् सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। शान्ति मंत्र। ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत्। अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणमे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Vidya, you can start from first only because there are only 5 mantras.
ॐ केनेषितं पतति प्रेषितं मनः केन प्राणः प्रथमः प्रैतियुक्तः केनेषितां वाचमिमां वदन्ति चक्षुश्रोत्रं क उदेवो युनक्ति श्रोत्रस्य श्रोत्रं मनसो मनो यत् वाचोह वाचं स उप्राणस्य प्राणः चक्षुषश्चक्षुरतिमुच्य धीराः प्रेत्यास्माल्लोकादमृता भवन्ति न तत्र चक्षुर्गच्छति न वाग्गच्छति नो मनः न विद्मः न विजानीमः यथैतदनुशिष्यात् अन्यदेव तद्विदितात् अथो अविदितादधि इति शुश्रुमपूर्वेषां येनस्तद्व्याचचक्षिरे यद्वाचानभ्युदितं येन वागभ्युद्यते तदेव ब्रह्मत्वं विद्धि नेदं यदिदमुपासते। Fifth also.
Yes, fifth also.
यन्मनसा न मनुते येनाहुर्मनोमतं तदेव ब्रह्मत्वं विद्धि नेदं यदिदमुपासते। यन्मनसा न मनुते येनाहुर्मनोमतं तदेव ब्रह्मत्वं विद्धि नेदं यदिदमुपासते।
Very nice. Thank you, Vidya. Beautiful chanting. So we have completed the 4 verses. In the first verse, the student has asked a question. Kene shitam patati preshitam manaha. Kena pranaha. So by whom? Kena means by whom? Willed and directed does this mind, this speech, these ears, eyes, get the power for whatever function they are having. And the student is asking not from a technical point of view that how the eyes are functioning, ears are functioning, but what is that which is empowering it, because all these equipments, as per the analysis of the students, are insentient, they are inert. That is the main point. And interestingly, here the Guru gives in a very different, unconventional way the answer. Kshotrasya kshotram, manasa manaha, vachah ham vacham, chakshusha chakshuhu. So he says the entity which is empowering the mind is the mind of mind, the eyes are of eyes, the ears of ears, prana of prana. So we saw that the first verse and the second verse, the Uttamadhikari understand, he realizes. The third verse gives the explanation that why that eye of the eye, what is the meaning of that, the eye of the eye? It is not that it is a different eye, different ear, different prana. So immediately the third verse says that eyes cannot go there. But second verse you told eye of the eye, ear of the ear, prana of the prana. So to immediately remove the misunderstanding, third verse says that the eyes cannot go there, nor the speech, nor the mind. And then it cannot be known also. And it is beyond the unknown also. That is the main theme to catch. Because the moment I say known, it will be different than me. It is something, an object of knowledge. And when I say it is unknown, it cannot be unknown because it is not different than me. I am that. It cannot be spoken, it cannot be taught. So it cannot be seen, it cannot be tasted, it cannot be smelled, it cannot be touched. Very interestingly, if you think over this, it is saying that it is beyond prana also. That means prana is not there, the body is not there, because the body is dependent on the prana. So it is something which is empowering the prana also. That is a very, very important point to meditate upon. Because most of the time I think that when the prana goes, I go, the body goes. Identification with prana and the mind is the subtlest. Sometimes in Vedanta we can apprehend I am not the body, but the mind is very close to us, thoughts, very, very close. To disassociate from the thought, to disassociate from the mind is not a very easy process. And it will keep building up because mind and ignorance, avidya, has hundreds of techniques to keep it alive. Not only this, it also adds in the fourth mantra that it is not even the God what you are worshipping, going to temple, doing rituals. Because the main point there is that the worshipper has to be different than the worshipped. So again, there is duality. So then what? Actually, suppose we follow this, it is a very frustrating thing. It cannot be seen, cannot be known, cannot be unknown. It is not God also which I am worshipping. Devotion is not refuted here. It cannot be tasted, cannot be smelled, cannot be felt. Then what? Because this is a very important point. Just if I listen plainly from a scholarly point of view, it will not give us any feeling. A sadhak who is following this has to be feeling the frustration. And frustration is a very important step in sadhana. Most saints, suppose you read their literature, they have written before the realization, it is like the fish coming out of the water. They are that restless to know it. Because now it is not able to know from any perspective which I am trained, which I am having experience, because beyond experience also. Beyond experience are also. Ham bhojanam naiva bhojam na bhokta. So it cannot be seen, it cannot be felt, it cannot be touched, it cannot be heard, it cannot be taught, it cannot be understood, it is beyond known, it is beyond unknown, it is not God also, then what? But I can be it because I am it. So that was the message till 4th. Now from 4th to 8th, it has a similar kind of line of thought. So what is that line of thought? For a Madhyam Adhikari, what is been given? Explanation of I, that why eyes cannot reach there. It is not explained yet. We had discussed this some portion, but now these 4 verses are there, that why it is I and why eyes cannot reach there, mind cannot reach there, speech cannot reach there, which we saw last time. So that is the explanation for each, which is in the same pattern. Only the one word is changed about Chakshu, then Vacha, Mana. So that is the explanation for Madhyamadhikari to ponder over. If the Madhyamadhikari has the doubt that why eyes cannot see. Now we have understood and accepted, but other sadhaks do not accept it directly, so we have to analyze. So with that background, we will start. Especially we'll pay more attention to the mind. Other things we will cover faster. So Vidya, can we read the 5th mantra again?
Yanmanasa na manute yenahurmano matam tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate.
So yan manasa na manute, that which cannot be apprehended by the mind. But then I am listening through mind and understanding from the mind and appreciating from the mind and enjoying from the mind only. But here it is clearly given. So this Upanishad I personally enjoyed and enjoying, because suddenly it removes all the carpets below our feet on which we are basing our understanding, but by which they say the mind is apprehended. Know that alone as Brahman. So last time we saw that alone is Brahman, and all other things are refuted, and not that which people here worship. So that sentence which comes in all of further verses that we discussed last time in detail. So we will not go there. That devotion is not refuted, but what is refuted is duality. So we must continue with our puja, japa, rituals, going to temple, tirtha yatras, but with a very clear clarity that all these things are preparatory for Jnana Yoga. It will purify the mind, it will concentrate the mind, but liberation happens only with Jnana. That recognition that I am not this and I am this, that is enlightenment, that is self-realization. That shift of identification, that happens with Jnana only. So now we will analyze about mind, because mind is something which is very, very subtle. So explanation of mind is given. In the further verses also, ear of ear, prana of prana, that will be given. So here mind means, yan manasa means all 4 faculties are given. What are the 4 parts of the mind? Mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. That faculty by which I feel, I think, I remember, I decide. Brahman cannot be known by this faculty and functioning. Why? So this Kenopanishad listening and Manan and Shravan, though it is done by the ears and done by the mind, done by the intellect, I remember the shlokas, I chant the shlokas, I say I understood, but it will not be able to reach it. Now how will you explain this logically to another person? So it is very important in Vedanta that we must be able to logically explain why God is there or why God is not there. Logically. Why mind will not reach there? Because number one point, mind is finite, Brahman is infinite. So mind finite cannot reach infinite. When finite goes in search of infinite, finite has to dissolve. Cannot know it. Mind is made up of thought, Brahman is not a thought. So mind cannot know it. And all our knowledge is vritti janya. Till the thought is not generated, I will not know. Like yesterday itself, I had gone to Guruji's session on Upadesh Sar. There also, this is very clearly mentioned that there is a cow in front of me. There is a kiwi fruit in front of me. We had taken that example in Praman Vichara. But I am seeing that fruit, but I do not know that it is kiwi. Hari Om, I will repeat this sentence. A person who has never seen kiwi fruit goes in the market, sees 25 fruits. In those 25 fruits, kiwi also is there. So the eyes see the fruit, but the knowledge doesn't take place that this is kiwi. In the same way, we are seeing this world which is Brahman. We are seeing it all the time. There is nothing other than Brahman. But because that knowledge is not there, we are not able to recognize that thought, Brahmakar Vritti, and then it will dissolve. I am also Brahman, so there is experience of Brahman happening, but the knowledge is not taking place. This is a very important point to note. The experience is happening. I am seeing the world, I am seeing myself, I am seeing the mind, and the movie can only sustain on the screen. This is a very important distinction of movie and screen. What is movie? It is screen only. Movie is reflected on the screen. So when I say no, I don't have experience of Brahman, it cannot be, it is an invalid statement because I cannot experience movie without a screen. What I am actually seeing is screen only, on which some kind of light and some kind of objects and images are going on. So actually I am seeing Brahman only everywhere, but knowledge is not there. So I distinguish and see this is world, oh, this is object, this is image, this is, and that's the reason Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Mind is constantly changing, Brahman is changeless. So changing thing cannot know changeless. Changeless things can know, entity can know the change. Mind can only know sense, objects and thoughts. Brahman is not object of knowledge in the form of thoughts. So mind cannot reach there. So mind cannot know it. Mind also is not Brahman. So this will repeat in all other stances that mind cannot know Brahman. Mind is also not Brahman. And finally, the power which empowers the mind, that is Brahman. The ability of the mind also is not Brahman. This will be repeated. 3 sentences. But Brahman is that which illumines the ability of the mind, the thoughts, etc. What is the practice? Then I have to do immediately shift the attention from all thoughts to the thinker, the knower of the thoughts. So whenever I am feeling sadness, immediately the question, okay, who is experiencing this sadness? I. Who is that I? And then when we try to focus, the I will dissolve because there is no entity such as I. When we go in search of mind, there is no mind only. When I go in search of thought, we cannot touch a thought. We cannot, feel the, we cannot find that thought. And now we have to distinguish between, there is another myth, what we have. There is a thinker of a thought. Right now, okay, I'm thinking. Now, please, we have to pay attention here. That, okay, shall I listen to Kenopanishad or shall I watch TV? 2 thoughts have come. Shall I do this? Shall I do this? This is everyday experience. Now, till most of the time, till we have been listening to, till we listen to this, now we have to do this experiment. We think that, and then I say, okay, I want to listen to Kenopanishad. So there is a decision taken. Who has taken that decision? Our assumption is that there is a thinker who is between these two thoughts. One thought came, I want to listen to Upanishad. Another thought came, I want to watch TV. Now, next thought comes, okay, I will listen to Kenopanishad. Now, there is an assumption that between these two thoughts, there is a thinker which is separate and watching these two thoughts and then takes this decision. We have to realize that there is no thinker of thoughts. Thoughts appear and disappear in awareness. I am thinking is an illusion created by I thought. Because I thought is Mani Mama. We had discussed that in Saddarshan. So one of the best practice to do is that withdraw the attention from the objects and then withdraw the attention from the thoughts, withdraw the attention from the mind, not giving so much significance to what I feel, what I think, if I am a spiritual sadhak. Because my interest is what? Drashta vare. Atma vare drashtavya. There that Rishi tells his wife that you be interested in now yourself and go in search of it. Because that is where happiness and love is located. How to go? Shrotavya, mantavya, nididhyasatva. Listen to it. And then slowly the mind will come into that. So realize and transcend the thoughts. So all these thoughts are like cloud feelings. And that awareness is that sky. Another example, awareness is like the screen and the mind is the movie going on. So when I went to Siddhabari first time, Gurudev, I can imagine him telling in that satsang in Siddhabari. And today is the 3rd August, Gurudev's Mahasamadhi day. Before we complete this session, we will meditate for few minutes and meet Gurudev where he stands. That is what he says. That is a goal of a sadhak. If you have a guru, that meet Gurudev where he is standing, not at our place, not in the dream. So he said that one of the best meditation is observing one's own thoughts, observing the drama of what the thoughts are going on. And when we do that, the observer starts separating from the observed. And this I can do 24/7, anytime. I may be talking, I may be interacting, I may be thinking, feeling. Suddenly, I can change my stance and, okay, let me observe what is going on in my mind, what is going on and what is my next thought. And suddenly the distance is created. So that's the reason I say that this Upanishad is an experiential Upanishad. Here and now itself we can realize. So that was the explanation of that mind cannot reach there. So we go to the 6th mantra, that it cannot be seen also. With that twice.
Yes. Yachakshusha na pashyati yena chakshugam pashyati tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate yachakshusha na pashyati yena chakshugam pashyati tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate.
So that which cannot be seen by the eye, but by which the eyes are able to see. So this was told in the 2nd verse also, but this is supposed to be the explanation of that. So we are, giving the explanation as per the Bhashya given by Adi Shankaracharya, because someone has to explain. Why? Because eyes can only see form and color. That too, light coming on the eyes, inverted image goes to the brain as electrical signals, and then it is given to the mind. Then a thought is formed, and that thought interprets what it is. So thought formation in the mind is needed for for the eyes to see. Otherwise, eyes will only see the light. But say, no, this is apple, which is different than tomato. This is blue, which is different than green. This is women, different than man. This is world, which is different than Brahman. This is body, this is breath, this is mind, this is intellect. This is that I thought, Panchakoshatita. For that, thought formation is required. And what is the process? Seeing is perception, then it leads to cognition in the mind, then recognition by the intellect dependent on the memory. So memory is attached to the intellect. And that's the reason finally when we come to Vedanta, they say Chitta Shuddhi. But Chitta Shuddhi has to happen with Mana Shuddhi, Vichar Shuddhi and then Chitta Shuddhi. Because in the Chitta, after Samadhi, after realization, the memory becomes different, that I am Brahman, that Ramana Maharshi, Gurudev, Swami Tapovan Maharaj don't have to practice. They abide in it. Because in that memory, it is clear that I am not the body, mind, intellect. I am awareness. I am pure consciousness, Satchitananda. Example, see a flower with open eyes. Just now you can do this experiment. Just see the mobile phone with your open eyes, then close the eyes and see, I can see the mobile phone inside for some time. That image formation is there. Yesterday also, same thing Guruji was talking in Upadesh Sar. There is an image formation. There is a word formation in the mind. Then I say, I know this. If there is no image and word formation, there is no knowledge. Suppose I say, do you know ting, tung, tang? You don't know, it is only a sound. There is no image formation, there is no word formation there. And that's the reason to know Brahman is very difficult by the mind or impossible by the mind, because there is no attribute, there is no word, there is no image what gets formed. So Brahman is not object of eyes, it cannot be seen. So very, very important. Many people we are not saying that it is wrong. Ramakrishna Paramahansa had the darshan of Kali Mata. So here in Vedanta, when we say darshan, it is not about perception. I'll repeat this sentence, exactly the same thing. Those who are interested, they can listen to Guruji's lecture yesterday of Upadesh Sar. So when Vedanta talks about darshan, it is not about eyes seeing an object, it is about knowledge, darshan, atma jnana. Darshan by the thought. Darshan means what is the knowledge. Knowledge formation is called as darshan. Brahman cannot be seen. You know, some people say in meditation, they saw something, then I heard sound, I smelled something, rose, chandan, and then God. Suppose I see, that will also in the vritti janya, that will also be a thought formation. And whatever is thought formation, it will be inert, it will be anatma, it will go away. So Vedanta does not give value to any experiences. Why? Brahman is not the ability by which I see. Brahman is that which illumines the ability of seeing. It is beyond it. What illumines? The I knowing principle which illumines. So once I go in search of myself, I understand that I am the illuminator of the world. I am illumining everything. But what is that I? That is pure consciousness. That is pure awareness. So what is the practice here in the second mantra? Shift the attention from the seen to seer. In the first mantra, shift the attention from the what I am feeling, thinking to the experiencer of that. Who is that who is feeling? I. And in the fourth mantra, shift the attention from the pointer to the pointed speech. Because speech can only point, but I have to shift the attention from that pointer to pointed. So your practices are given in our day-to-day life. And a spiritual sadhak gets more and more interested in knowing the seer, knowing the experiencer, knowing the knower, knowing the illuminator. And that is called as Vairagya. So mantra number 1.7. Now here, hearing is refuted. Yeah, so Vidya, can we chant twice?
Yeah. यत् श्रोत्रेण न शृणोति येन श्रोत्रमिदगं श्रुतं तदेव ब्रह्मत्वं विद्धि नेदं यदिदमुपासते यत् श्रोत्रेण न शृणोति येन श्रोत्रमिदगं श्रुतं तदेव ब्रह्मत्वं विद्धि नेदं यदिदमुपासते.
So we can see the last sentence, Tadeva Brahma Tvam Viddhi Nedam Yadidam Upasate. That we have already covered, which means it is not what people worship. And what we worship is whatever form, image, idol. So that is there as our upasana. Upasya and upasana we had seen. But I must be clear about it that can purify my mind, that can create for concentration. But finally, I have to realize that two become one. So what is the analysis? Antakaran vritti formation is needed to hear something. Similarly, like eyes, the sound is coming on my ears. It is going into electrical signals, goes to brain, and then electrical signal becomes a thought. And I say, okay, I understand this. I understand what is Atma. I understand what is Brahman. So a thought formation is required for knowledge to take place through sound, through ears, through taste, through smell. And if the thought formation is not taking place, I will say I do not know it. And that's the reason many people say, yeah, I have read about Brahman, Atman, self, but I do not know it. I am not knowing it means that thought formation is not recognizing it. I am having the experience of it. Because I am it. How can I say I am not experienced? I am not having experience of myself. That is the most core, central, nearest, most intimate experience what we can have in life. I am is the most intimate experience. Hearing by ears, objectifying the sound. Ear is not Brahman. Ability by which ears hear is not Brahman. That which illumines the ability of hearing is Brahman. Practice shifting the attention from heard to the hearer. This is very, 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 very important, because suppose I cross-check my life, most of the time we get angry, hurt, disappointed, dejected by only one thing, what we hear. We get less disappointed by what we see. That's the reason in our Praman also, Shabda Praman is the highest Praman, where the ears are used. Among all 5 senses, the most important is ears. Because I cannot close it. I cannot shut it. When I sit for meditation, I can close my eyes, I can close my tongue, no taste, no smell, no touch, no vision, but ears. So I have to constantly shift the attention from what is heard to who is hearing. I am hearing it. I am understanding it. I am not understanding it. Who is that I? What is illumining that I? What is empowering that I? And I is what? Mind only. Because we already discussed earlier that mind here is referred to as 4 parts. Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. And that way a sadhak practices constantly. And that is what is Vairagya. That is what is dispassion. People think dispassion is boring. No, dispassion is highly, highly interesting, because I am just withdrawing my attention. That is the most important part in meditation and realization, is where is my attention? It is in the world, or is it coming back to me constantly? I can bring it back to myself. Mantra number 1.8. Vidya, you have a lot of summary to write because we are covering, but this all 4 shlokas come together. And here first chapter gets over. So we'll complete this chapter and meditate for a few minutes and invoke Pujya Gurudev's grace on his Mahasamadhi day, which is called as Aradhana day. Yat pranena.
यत् प्राणेन न प्राणिति येन प्राणः प्रणीयते तदेव ब्रह्मत्वं विद्धि नेदं यदिदमुपासते यत् प्राणेन न प्राणिति येन प्राणः प्रणीयते तदेव ब्रह्मत्वं विद्धि नेदं यदिदमुपासते.
So here iti Kenopanishadi Prathama Khanda. So this is where the first chapter is completed. And what is by how is it getting completed? That which one breathes, not with his breath, but by which breath is breath. That is Brahman. So that which is empowering us to breathe, we're not even paying attention to something very miraculous happening every moment. Constant miracle is happening. We don't require any more surprises or Instagram or Facebook. Once I am getting interested into breath, to shift from breath to who is observing the breath becomes much more easier. Why? Because by observation of the breath, the mind becomes concentrated, purified, very sharp, very subtle. And after that, suppose I introduce this question, who is observing this breath? So we can take one homework today, this week. I have to sit straight, close my eyes, sit whatever comfortable position we are into, and count 108 breaths, and we will see that how difficult it is. And suppose I miss one, I have to restart. Inhale, exhale, and say 1. Inhale, exhale, 2. And then we will see after 4, 5, 6, 7 breaths only the mind will go suddenly into something and the mind will start thinking. And the moment I catch my mind thinking, that means it has missed the count for some time. Again start with 1. They say that even to count till 10 is not very easy. The mind is so, inner chatter is going on so much, and we realize that is where the sadhana starts. Aradhana day. So today is a Aradhana day. So let us take this Aradhana for this week. Gurudev will be very, very, very happy. We must ask that which Aradhana suppose I do this week, Gurudev will be happy. Now he is very happy only because we are doing reflecting on Kenopanishad, because this was the first Upanishad he took in Pune when he came back from Himalayas, Siddhabari, Uttarkashi. And if we see the commentary, Upanishad is started after several days. The introduction itself took many, many days, and after so many days, he started Upanishadic first mantra. Because this Upanishad calls for a lot of introduction and thinking. So to summarize, the entire 8 mantras, before that, let us have this practice, observe the breath and the source of the breath. So whenever I am in day-to-day transactions, I will say, okay, who is observing my breath? I will shift the attention to that. Okay, I am feeling this. Who is the knower of this feeling? I will shift the attention to that. Okay, I am thinking this. Who is thinker of the thought? I will shift the attention from thinking to the thinker. And that is our Aradhana, that is our practice for this week. So to summarize, Brahman cannot be spoken of, explained by language, described by any scriptures. Brahman cannot be apprehended by the intellect, felt by the mind, seen by the eyes, heard by the ears, smelled by the nose, tasted or touched. Brahman cannot be worshipped as final idol, icon, picture. Can be found in temples, tirthayatras, pujas, rituals, japa. We are going for different purpose there. And that is where that Kabir Das Ji's doha comes. Na tirath mein, na murat mein, na Kashi Kailas mein, ना व्रत में, ना उपास में, ना संन्यास में, ना मंदिर में, ना मस्जिद में, मैं तो तेरे पास में. So close, but we are missing it. Sadhana for this week, this today, Gurudev didn't like his celebration on birthday and Mahasamadhi day, etc. He told, take a practice that will be worship to me. So practice is attention. This word I will write down and note, where is my attention? That is my aradhana, that is my sadhana. If it is going outside, I will bring it back inside. If it is going in the world, neighbors, future, past, I will bring it inside. If it is going on body, after the world is complete, then I will come on body. This is paining, that is paining. Then it will come on breath, then it will come on mind, then it will come on intellect, thinking, and then on the I. Okay, I is the entity on whose behalf everything is happening. Who is that I? And the day I get interested into this I, our job 50% is done. We must be falling in love of that I. Atma vare drashtavya. But right now I'm not interested in that entity on whose behalf I am thinking, on whose behalf I am feeling, on whose behalf I am doing, on whose behalf I am understanding, on whose behalf I am saying that I want to realize. All above is for purification and concentration, and it is for upasana. Upasana is accessing limitless with the limited. Very beautiful definition. And we saw in the last session also, where Vidya has given summary in detail, that upasana, I worship that using this. So I, paroksha, for me, worship that which is paroksha, using this pratyaksha, what is in front of me. That is the idol, icon. And what is conclusion? Brahman cannot be known as an object, but it is not unknown also, but I can be it, and I am it. So I'm not going into the next part, that we will take it next time. So the last paragraph, with that we do not want any summary. Let us stop here and meditate for 2-3 minutes. We have 2-3 minutes. For 2 minutes, we will meditate on Gurudev's Pujya Samadhi Day, Aradhana Day. Sit straight and relaxed. On the foundation of relaxation, meditation happens. Those who are interested in meditation, they must write down this sentence. On the foundation of relaxation, meditation happens. Relaxation of the body, mind, intellect, all activities, perception, etc. And now, just focus on what is the experience I am having right now of touch, smell, on the touch of where you are sitting, on the chair, or any smell coming, on the experience of thoughts, feelings, objects. So here we start the meditation with experience. I must be very clear about experience, what I am having at the 5 senses. So focus on experience, step number 1. So by closed eyes, I am not seeing anything, but I can feel the touch, I can feel the smell, I can feel the temperature, I can feel my breath. Now, next question I introduce, am I aware of this experience? Ask yourself this question internally. Am I aware of this experience happening? And wait. Because in that question itself is a trick to shift the attention from experience to awareness. So I have shifted with that question, very powerful question, that am I aware of this experience? Yes. So now I want to know the nature of this awareness. So as simple as that, meditation is very, very simple day to day, and shifting the attention from the experience, content of experience, to awareness. It's a very powerful question to introduce to meditate. Am I aware? And wait. Suddenly the attention will shift to awareness from the experience. And then I ask, what is the nature of this awareness? If awareness has to define itself without taking experience into consideration. What can awareness say? Awareness can say, I am. And that is the most intimate experience I can have. I am, and I know that I am. So being aware of awareness is realization. So let us invoke Pujya Gurudev's grace and blessings on this Mahasamadhi day. And we imagine that in सिद्धबाड़ी के क्षेत्र में नित्य विराजे गुरु हमारे. He is nitya there, and we can imagine that he is happy and smiling with our reflection on Upanishad and his aradhana, what we are going to do to shift the attention from idam to aham, from the content of experience to awareness, and keep practicing this whenever we remember this in Upanishad. And as he always mentions, that it happens with grace itself. With his grace it happens. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Thank you very much.